my best luxury decisions in my 2 years on YouTube. Hello, welcome back to Classics with a Quirk, where we talk about contemporary and luxury designer items and brands with a touch of silliness. This is the kind of content that you find interesting. Please do like this video and subscribe for more of it. Thank you. So this is a tag video that was started by Nick J. Snell a little while ago, and I was not tagged by anybody, but it was a tag that I really wanted to participate in. And so I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna just do it because why not? I also really quick want to say that if you have tagged me for a video and I haven't gotten to it yet, I'm really sorry. Sometimes I film in batches, so I am not able to get a video out because I've filmed others ahead of it. And also sometimes I'm just really tired. Certain tags are just like harder for me to do than others. So if you have tagged me, I'm sorry. If you have tagged me and I don't know that you've tagged me, that's also something else. Sometimes I don't know if I've been tagged because I don't get a notification about it. So in general, I really appreciate being tagged and I don't mind not being tagged. Tags are just hard or easy for different reasons, and that's all I'm going to say. Did you like this introduction to this video that had nothing to do with it? Good, me too. Anyway, moving on. This video is about my best luxury decisions. Again, a tag started by Nick J. Snell. And the thing about his video, or his tag rather, is it wasn't just about purchases that he made. It was luxury decisions or decisions made around or surrounded by luxury or impacted by luxury or affected by luxury in some way that he considered his best decisions. And he specifically said in his video that he wanted to make a positive video with a positive theme, because there are a lot of like luxury regrets videos or bags that I sold and why videos, and those are also very informative and good videos to have and create, and I like watching those. But I like the fact that this had a bit of a more positive spin. I also recently in August, so not so recently, but still recently, for 2 years, I recently in August celebrated my 2-year anniversary on YouTube, and that's super cool. It's really exciting, and so I wanted to kind of make this video in relation to that. So this is my best luxury decisions in my 2 years on YouTube. So the last couple of years, my best decisions that I've made. And the first one that I want to start by saying is, starting a YouTube channel. That was a decision that I made that was around luxury, obviously, because my channel is luxury goods focused. And that was a really, really cool decision. It really changed a lot of things for me. It really opened up a lot of doors, and particularly about people, because that's why I made the channel in the first place. I wanted to start interacting with more people in the luxury space. I don't have a lot of people in my real hometown where I live life, or in general, who really understand or accept or care about luxury, any of those three things. So it was really nice to start trying to eke my way into a space where I could meet other people who were like-minded. And it really has opened up a lot of opportunity for friendships, which I really do appreciate. And that is definitely one of the best luxury decisions, or luxury-related, luxury-adjacent decisions that I've made in my 2 years since I started my YouTube channel. The other directly related to YouTube decision, then also friendship decision, is really trying to cultivate relationships and really do the work in terms of interacting with other people. I've approached people on Instagram. I've kept up with DMs myself when somebody DMs me, and I've really made a lot of friends because I've made the effort to be social. I am very much an introvert, which you may or may not be able to tell from my videos. I am quite a speaky person, but I very much am an introvert in the real life world. And talking to people can be very hard, or keeping up a conversation with people can sometimes be very hard. And there's always that in-between stage before you're friends with a person and you're acquaintances with them and you're just sort of feeling each other out. And that can take a lot out of you because you don't really know whether or not you're ready to or want to be friends with this person, or they don't know if they like you, or there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. So the fact that I really made an effort to talk to people on Instagram, to talk to people in the YouTube comments, has really been cool. And I've made some really cool, in my opinion, lasting friendships from this, and people that I'd be really excited to meet in person, people that I'm really excited to talk to every day. And I really like that, and that's super neat, and definitely one of my best luxury adjacent decisions. My next best luxury decision is one that might surprise a lot of you, but it is not buying a medium classic flap in the last 2 years. And I know this might surprise you, not necessarily about today's prices, because the medium classic flap is currently, as of filming this video, well over $8,000. But I did buy a medium classic flap when it was $6,500 or $6,800, which is several $1,000s less than it is today. And I had the opportunity to do so several times, and I chose not to. And I chose not to because I knew that if I were going to buy the medium classic flap, partially it was going to be because of FOMO, fear of missing out, not because I really particularly wanted the medium classic flap at that time. And I tried it on in several different very beautiful colors. I've tried it on in this really beautiful like 20B burgundy that came out. I've tried it on in gold, not grays. I didn't miss out on a gray, and like I don't regret it though. I don't regret it. And I do understand that if I had bought a medium classic flap at like $6,500, it's now technically worth more money because it's over 8,000, it's 8,800 plus. But just because I had the opportunity to buy it doesn't mean that it was something that I needed to purchase. And I never buy bags with the intention to resell them, certainly not with the intention to flip them. You probably could tell that if you've watched my business affinity video. I do not buy bags to flip, and I don't enjoy selling handbags. It's not fun. Like I will sell like Coach bags sometimes, or Louis Vuitton bags once I've fixed them up, because I enjoy the act of rehabbing, but I can't keep every single bag that I've rehabbed because then I'd have a bazillion bags. So I do sell those, but I don't really enjoy trying to sell luxury items worth thousands and thousands of dollars on my own. I generally like consign those in the event that I sell them at all. It's just not something I enjoy doing. So even if I had bought a bag for, $2,000 less than it currently costs, so what? I could, I guess, maybe sell it on for a profit, possibly, if it was in pristine condition, but like, why though? I'd rather just not buy the bag and then have that money for a different thing that I want. I do like the medium classic flap. I do admire it. It is a beautiful bag, but it's never been one that I've been super duper drawn to. I've always preferred seasonal bags of that style and shape. I've preferred, my reissues. I prefer vintage bags in a lot of cases. If I were going to buy a medium classic, I'd probably try to go the vintage route, unless it was a very, very specific, very me, I wanted this only dream color option. But for the most part, it's just not a bag that I really gravitate towards. And so passing on it a number of times, yes, it might have been like not the right decision in terms of what Chanel is in terms of pricing, but it was a good decision for me because I didn't need or want it. So, I did. On that note though, a bag purchase that was a great and best decision is my Sweet Classic flap, this bag right here. This was a great buy. I have, this was one of my earlier videos, I think. I bought this in 2021, at the very beginning of 2021. It's a 21P seasonal, and I have a video about the unboxing. I also have a video on the details of it, and I love this bag. It's easily one of my most used luxury bags. It's so pretty. It's so versatile. I love the fact that it's a single flap, so it's a single flap, not a double, so you can fit much more in it. It's leather lined, which is super cool. It can be crossbody and on the shoulder. The chain strap is long enough to crossbody it, which is nice. It's got a lot of details of the classic flap, well, without looking like a dupe of the classic flap, if you know what I mean. Like, it's got a lot of classic elements, but it's not trying to be a medium classic. And this was, I mean, for a seasonal bag, even at Chanel prices, like this was a pretty good buy for what it was at the time. Like for me, this costs less than a mini. That's a little bit mind-blowing to me. And yes, it is a seasonal, but you see some seasonals from Chanel that are really just not classic looking bags. I'll say they're more novelty. A lot of the seasonal pieces that Chanel has been doing recently are very novelty, or they're not classic looking to me. They're not what this bag is, and I think that it was a really good price. I really have been enjoying it in the year that I've had it, the year and a half that I've had it now. And it's such a good bag. I love the color. Like, this is a true navy that it's so versatile. I wear it with like everything. And I love this bag. It's easily one of my most used luxury bags. And I really like it. It was such a good decision. It was very funny how I got it too. I talk about this more in my my unboxing video, but like I saw one person post this on Instagram, one, and I texted my SA and I was just like, do you know what this bag is? Does anybody know what this bag is? Instagram, Purse Forum, does anybody know what this bag is? And no one had heard of it. My SA didn't even know. Like I asked her and then she's like, I'll check. And then she like was able to tell me, oh yeah, we have one in the blue. And I beelined basically. And it just, yay for social media in that aspect, because I otherwise would not have known that this bag existed. And I'm really glad that it is part of my collection. I'm really happy with it. So that was definitely a great luxury decision. My next best luxury decision, and this isn't in any particular order, by the way, these are just like a list of things that I think are best decisions that I've made in the last couple of years, or even longer, but like specifically the last couple of years. And that is not buying like stand-in or like good enough bags. And you might already know what that is, but really for me, it's a bag that I can't get the one I really want. So instead I get the one that's close enough. And I think that that's ultimately a way to regret a purchase sometimes, or to feel like you didn't get the one you wanted because it wasn't the one you wanted. You got something that was good enough. And instead of maybe waiting for the right one to come along, or you're saving your money for longer, or something like that, instead of buying the one you wanted, you bought something that was just enough closest to what it was that it's like, if you want a speedy bandoulier, like a speedy bag with the strap, right? And you don't want to spend the money that it currently costs new, and you settle for just a regular speedy without the strap, you're never going to be 100% happy with it, because you wanted one with a strap. Maybe you needed a shoulder strap. Maybe the shoulder strap is more comfortable for you to use. And so if you have a speedy without a strap, like it's not the bag you want. And so instead of saving the money that you would have spent on the speedy bandoulier, you instead spent more money on a bag you didn't want. And I think ultimately that's actually one of the ways that I save a lot of money, is that I don't settle for the most part. I don't settle for bags or anything that isn't what I want. And if it isn't what I want, I don't get it. And actually a really good example of this, and quite honestly one of my best luxury decisions for the last 2 years, 100%, is this right here, this scarf from Hermes. This scarf is exactly what I wanted in an Hermes scarf as a decoration. Exactly 100%. I wanted the blues, I wanted the intricate detail, I wanted the symbolism. Like, this is the embodiment of the perfect Hermes scarf I could have bought for my first Hermes scarf purchase. Perfect embodiment. And I had been looking at Hermes scarves for quite some time before I found this one, before it started being sold. And each time I was like, oh, maybe I'll get this one, or oh, maybe I'll get that one. And something stopped me from doing that, because even though I found a variety of beautiful scarves and I had the opportunity at a lot of beautiful designs, something kept stopping me, because I think something in me knew that it wasn't the right one. And I didn't want to settle and just buy a beautiful Hermes scarf. I wanted to buy the beautiful Hermes scarf. And so I waited, and I didn't buy several different ones that I liked pretty well, or I liked a lot. And then I saw this one, like this one right here, right there, that one. I saw that one pop up on the website and I was like, bam, done, instant, I will buy it, take my money. Like, that was the one for me. And I have not regretted a cent of that purchase. I've not regretted that purchase for a moment. I had no hesitation. It's exactly what I wanted. And I really try to make most of my luxury decisions with that in mind. Like, don't settle. Don't buy the thing with silver hardware if you want the gold. Don't buy the small if you want the medium. Don't buy the camera bag in brown if you wanted the camera bag in black. Like, don't. And then I have the money that I didn't spend on those things to buy the things I do really want, or a different thing that I really do want. And it's just, those are good luxury decisions that I've been making, that I really do appreciate that I've made them. On that same kind of line is returning things that didn't make me happy, or returning things that I wasn't 100% happy with. There's a lot of doubt that can come into your mind in terms of returning things, especially if you're returning something new, or even returning something like that you bought preloved, like returning it to the seller, even if that seller is like a company like Fashion File or Rebag. Sometimes you just don't feel like it, or you don't want to, or you're scared to, or when it comes to a boutique, you don't want to like mess up your relationship with the SA. But being able to return something that doesn't make you happy is just so important, because it's such a waste of money if you don't. If you keep something that you don't want, or you don't like, or that you're not sure of without the doubt, then that's so much money that you will most likely end up regretting. And I've done this a couple of times on my channel, more than a couple actually. I've returned quite a few things on my channel. I've actually had people comment negatively on that. They're like, you return everything you buy and you make up excuses as to why you return it. And I mean, if that's your opinion, that's your interpretation of why I return things because I'm making up excuses, I guess I can't change your mind. But if I'm returning something, it's because it wasn't what I wanted. And if it's not what I wanted in any capacity, it's a waste of money and a decision that I should be making towards something else I really, really want more. For instance, I got this comment a lot when I returned the reissue that I bought last year for Black Friday, the 227 reissue. I got quite a few comments going, oh, you're just returning it, you'll regret this decision, you got it for such a good price, why are you doing that? And I don't regret returning it. I don't at all. Yes, I got it for a good price. I probably will not get a reissue 227 again for that kind of price. And I don't regret it. I'll pay more money for a reissue that I want more. And I'm comfortable with that. It's not saving money if it wasn't the one I wanted. So much of my luxury is based around mindful buying. I buy things because I think about them, because I love them. And yes, I do make impulsive purchases sometimes, and I do actually have a video coming out hopefully soon about luxury items I bought impulsively and whether or not those items are regrets or not regrets. And just it is important to me to be aware of what I'm not even buying, not even the money I'm spending. I do personally think that it's important to be aware of the money I'm spending, but it's important to me to be aware of what I'm taking into my life, the items that I am acquiring and accumulating, and how many I'm accumulating, and maybe how fast I'm accumulating them. I recently made a video about why I returned the Chanel Business Affinity. I returned it because I bought a different bag, my beautiful Delvaux, and I got quite a few comments saying, I'll regret it. It was a bad choice. I'll never find a deal like that again. You should have just kept it because if you could afford both, why didn't you? Vroom, vroom, vroom. And I understand where those people are coming from. I do. It was a fantastic deal. It was a fantastic buy. It's making somebody else very happy right now. But I had a problem with taking two items, especially two expensive items, into my life at one time, at that time. And that was part of it. That was part of it. It wasn't only that I could afford it or that I couldn't afford it. It was that I felt uncomfortable having two things that expensive at one time coming into my life. And that's kind of why I stated that if I had found the Business Affinity like 4 months later or 4 months ago, I would have not hesitated as much, and I probably wouldn't have returned it because it would have been broken up. You might notice that I don't have a lot of unboxings on my channel. And that's honestly one of the reasons why I grow as slowly as I do. I do understand that I grow fairly fast in comparison to other channels. Like absolutely, I'm not complaining about this, but I don't do a lot of unboxing on my channel. I think, maybe once a month, maybe less than that, possibly about an unboxing a month. And not every one of those unboxings is like a very expensive item. I had an unboxing a few months ago that was my Fendace sunglasses. Those were not very expensive. They were very exciting to me, but they weren't expensive really, like in the grand scheme of luxury things. I've unboxed SLGs on my channel. I've unboxed, my YSL wristlet was just as much fanfare as an unboxing as my YSL Mini Lou camera bag was, clutch versus, although I will say that the YSL wristlet was a saga. And if you haven't seen that, I will link the playlist that I made about that entire experience because it was quite the debacle. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't intake a lot of things into my life, and certainly not at one time. So yes, I do accumulate things. I am someone who buys luxury, buys anything. I bring a lot of luxury goods into my life, but I don't do it quickly. And I think that is important for me to be aware of. And this was connected to, returning things that I'm not comfortable with, but it is also a luxury good decision, I think, that to be aware of what I buy as I buy it and to mindfully buy, because it means that I'm almost always very, very happy with what I do have and what I do keep, without doubt. And as I said, I'm going to be making a video about impulse buys and that did or didn't lead to some regrets, because that's something worth talking about, I do feel. But generally, I think about it a lot, and I think for me that is a good decision to do so. So that is just one of the things on my list as a best luxury decision. My next best is this, the Recto Verso from Louis Vuitton. I unboxed this on my channel. It was one of the things that I did think about a lot, and the video is like 30 minutes long and has like a list of things that I discussed and thought about and considered. So if you're interested in that video, I will link it to you, but it's a long video, although this one is probably also a little bit long. So if you don't mind long videos, then you might enjoy that one, especially if you're talking about mindful buying. But the Recto Verso from Louis Vuitton, that's the point. This was a great buy. I bought it before the last price increase, so it was in the $500 range as opposed to the $600 or $700 range that it is now. And I use this thing constantly, and it has more overpaid for itself for me, for sure. I got the monogram canvas with the black leather, and I really like this thing a lot. I've talked about it a number of times on my channel. I did an entire in-depth review of this item, so if you want to see that, I'll also link that for you. It's a really convenient, really handy, compact wallet. It's so easy to use. I love that it's got organization and like compartments and stuff and all these different ways that you can utilize it and organize your things. And it's a luxury that I get to enjoy every single time I need my ID or need some cash or need a card. It lives in a bag that I also get to enjoy, and it's just part of an experience that makes me happy, right? And that's a really good decision then, if it makes me happy in using it. And that's why I hope most of us buy luxury, because it makes us happy. And so this is definitely a best luxury decision. I'm really glad that I own it, and I would not say no to buying another one even with the current prices of it, because it is that good. And I will be using this for years and years and years to come, and that's a good decision to me. If I'm going to use it forever, then I'm pretty pleased. Another thing I want to talk about that kind of goes into the mindful buying aspect, and I didn't realize that this whole video would be kind of along the lines of talking about luxury mindfulness and consumerist mindfulness and stuff, but I guess that's what you get into when you watch a video of mine. But in terms of mindful buying is also saving for my purchases. And I've talked about this before, and I actually have a video coming out soon about the topic exclusively, but I don't buy any of my bags on credit, or rather I buy all of my things on credit, but I don't go into debt for anything I purchase. I buy everything knowing full well that I have all of the money to pay it off immediately if I need to. So, you know, if I buy something for $3,000 on my credit card, when the statement comes in, I pay the $3,000 off of my credit card because I have the money to do so. And so I never actually go into debt for any of the purchases I buy. It's just like credit card payments as they circulate in terms of how credit works. All that to say is that I save my money. I don't personally feel that it is wise to buy frivolous things on credit in general. I don't want to say that it's not something you ever should do, especially because I do understand everybody's circumstances is different. I come from a very privileged background already because I don't have any sort of debt. I don't have college debt. I don't have car debt. I don't have homeownership debt. I don't have any debt. So I'm able to spend a lot of my money on frivolous things because I'm not paying down debt. That's something that I am very proud of, but also something that I'm aware that I came to from a place of privilege. So I do know that it's not something that everybody is capable of doing, but I do personally feel that it's not worth it to me to go into debt to buy something that is completely 100% frivolous and unnecessary. I do think that there's always room for life's little luxuries, but I'd personally rather buy like a $500 SLG and use that and be happy with that than go into debt to buy a $3,000 handbag, if I'm talking specifically about luxury. And again, that's not something for everybody. It's just how I personally feel. All of these things are just me. These are my personal decisions. And I don't mean to say that you are wrong or doing something wrong or that you're a bad person, because I'm definitely not saying that if you don't follow any of these things or if you don't buy things the way I do. We're all different people, obviously, and like what works for me does not work for everyone, and I'm very aware of that. Like, I'm a strange individual already. So like, I get that. But just for me, I am very careful with my money. I love finance and budgeting. It's something that I genuinely enjoy, which is also not something that everybody can say. I get that too, but I enjoy it. I like it. I like looking at financials. I like budgeting. I like looking at my money and seeing where it goes. And I like watching my saving pots grow. And I also like seeing those pots that I've worked so hard for get turned into something that I then can have and enjoy. And sometimes the savings pot is for travel. Sometimes that savings pot is for a luxury bag. Sometimes that savings pot is specifically an emergency fund savings pot, so I have to like use it for a medical bill or something. And that's also fine because I've saved the money for that to use towards that thing. I have a medication that costs $1,000 every January, like just every January, $1,000 off. That's with insurance. That is with insurance. I have a medication that in January I have to spend $1,000 on. It's fantastic. I would save so much money if I didn't have medical bills, honestly, like so much, but you know, that's America. It's whatever it is. I have to be aware of that every year. So every year I have to make sure I have at least that much in that savings pot to pay towards that thing, you know, and that's what I do. I save my money, and I think that that is a great luxury decision because it means that I can be 100% comfortable with anything that I buy from that pot. It's complete guilt-free spending because I have spent all the other things towards other things, all the savings towards other stuff, investments, whatever. It's dedicated and allocated towards my frivolous purchases, which means I don't have to worry about where the money is coming from. And finally, last but certainly not least, I wanted to save this one for the last actually. One of my best luxury decisions in the last couple of years that I've been on YouTube was, you might not be surprised by this bag. Oh my goodness, it was buying this bag, and I bought this bag without hesitation, basically. Like it was, I am so happy with this. I am so happy that I own it. I'm so happy that it's in my collection. I'm so glad that I didn't listen to my doubts about the weight. Because as some of you who are in this community might already be aware of, we do sometimes struggle with our bags because we love them. And this is one of those bags that I've figured out how to use the clasp. I've figured out how to use the buckle. I understand how I can carry it. I understand kind of a little bit more on how to fit things in it. And I love it so much. It's so beautiful. It's exactly what I wanted. It was a dream bag for a reason. And now I have it and I own it. And like, I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I also didn't listen to myself about the doubts of like the size before I purchased it. I didn't let myself talk myself out of it because my first instinct was get it immediately. And my second self-doubt instinct, which I do have, was what if these things, what if that thing, you know, it's too big, you might know it's heavy, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, self-doubt, no, I'm going to just buy it. I'll try it on. I'll see if it works. And then it did. And I love it. And it's beautiful. And like, it's so many things that I love about luxury, and I'm very happy that it's in my collection. I have the reveal video on my channel. If you haven't seen it yet, I do recommend it because I am absolutely nuts and giddy with glee in it. So I'll link that for you above and below. And just, yeah, definitely one of my best luxury decisions, certainly in the past 2 years, if not since I've been luxury-ing actually. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I can't express enough how much happiness and joy this brings me to own it. And yeah, it's beautiful and gorgeous and everything I wanted. So that is that, and that is my list. And I want to say thank you again to Nick J. Snell for starting this conversation and starting these tags. Thank you so much to everybody who watched this video. If you watched it all the way through, my goodness, thank you so much. Please leave an emoji of a little cat because she has been slamming her little body against the door trying to get in so far right now. And that's just kind of story of my life if I close my little kitty out of my filming space. But yes, if you have watched the entire video, please do leave a little emoji of a cat to let me know that you did. I'd love to hear. What is one of your best luxury purchases, or what do you think about my luxury decisions, or your best luxury decisions, not just your purchases? Please do feel free to share in a comment down below. And thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, please do give it a like. It super duper helps the algorithm, and subscribe for more content that helps the algorithm even more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.